Alright, welcome back. Now it's time to put on some handles, and I made 3 handles for each mug. I like this handle the best for the kind of pebble mug because the texture is the deepest, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach this. In my last video I forgot to show you about cutting an angle for the handle. What you want to do is put your handle to the side, and then you can you want to put your handle to the side so it looks like an ear or a question mark. Let's say a question mark because that makes a lot of sense. Then you can take your knife and trim off the ends so that the ends give you this nice 45-degree angle, okay? And that attaches really nicely to your mug where the handle will arc up and then down. So I'm getting this wet. I'm scoring this. And I'm going to go ahead and put it right on the seam, which is probably the weakest point to put it on, but physically it's weak, but visually I think it kind of makes sense because there's a vertical line and then you're hiding it with the vertical handle. I've done this a few times, more than once, and I haven't had a problem yet. But certainly it is going to put a lot of stress on that seam if you didn't compress it well. So a couple notes about handles. The apex of the handle, generally you don't want it to exceed the height of the rim of the mug. So the reason being is when you turn it upside down to dry, you don't want it to be resting on the apex of the handle, right? The other thing to consider is straightness, right? It's got to be straight this way, and it's got to be straight this way. You don't want it to be tilting to one side or the other, right? So make sure your handle is on straight. Support it from the inside, and really do a good firm compressing that handle down, okay? You'll notice that my handle is about leather hard right now. It's a soft leather hard, but I did allow it to dry, which makes it a lot easier to deal with because it's quite thin. Another consideration that's important when you're dealing with handles is you want your handle to be as close to the body of the mug as possible without having your hand touch the mug. Sometimes I have students and they make these big, beautiful, elegant handles, but they're not very practical. It's not very ergonomic to hold on to a mug and your hand is really far away, okay? You want it closer to the center of gravity. But you don't want your hand to touch the mug because then your fingers can burn, okay? So if I was going to reinforce this handle, which I think I shall, I would take some clay and roll a like spaghetti diameter, linguine diameter coil and score that in the armpits of the handle. You know what I'm talking about. The armpits, right in here. And right in here. These are potential weak spots that I would like to reinforce, especially since I attached the handle to the seam. So I'll put that in there. Put that in there. Break off the ends. See that? And now I'm going to blend it in with the spine of the wood knife. A little bit of pressure. Compress. And then blend. I'm not adding water, I'm just compressing. Truthfully, water is going to make your clay weaker. Compression makes your clay stronger. So water only when absolutely necessary. Some people will use magic water or sodium silicate or slip, and those things I generally agree with, but I don't always have on hand. Okay, there we go. We've got a mug with a fun textured design that traverses the mug and the handle. The last step would be to attach a foot ring. I do like to add a foot ring to the bottom of the mug because it elevates the mug a bit, and it aids when cleaning the foot off for glazing, right? So here I rolled a thin coil. Gonna go ahead and turn it into a foot ring about the right size here. About like that. That's good. Let's score this up. I'm going to score the foot ring on too. That marks the end of school, which means my office hours are going to start very, very soon, which means I should probably call it a wrap on this. Definitely compress that foot ring on, smooth out your scoring lines. Don't skimp on this part because you don't want this ring to fall off. You really need to get that pressed on hard and blended in well. I think I see a student outside, so I'm gonna call it. Hope that you are having a good day. Hope you are doing well with your mugs, and that you have fun making a mug. I had fun making these. This one. Oh, and I'll show you this one. Look at these handles. I made 3 of this type of handle too, and I'm gonna add that on here. Okay? Alright, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.